how the episode ended, all I'm trying to say, I freaking knew it. What's going on, guys? My name is Trevor. Today we are talking about episode 7 of Defending Jacob. Each week we're going over each individual episode and a full spoiler discussion. This is a spoiler-filled review. Episode 7, I mean, it's the best episode yet, and each week for me has gotten better and better and better, and this one just is this icing on the cake that it is the best episode, and I cannot wait for next week. I'm really bummed out there's only 1 week left, only one episode. Well, I gotta find something else to fill my Fridays because this has just been great the last couple weeks, but alright, episode 7, spoiler talk starting now. So, the episode 6 ends with them going to the trial, and you're like, okay, episode 7, it's gonna be the best episode. It's gonna be so much good acting, so much everything, and it exceeded all the expectations. So this episode is really just the whole trial, and it kind of shows that Neil isn't that good, and the episode actually starts out with a flashback of Andy and Neil talking when Neil was like just starting out as being a lawyer, and Andy's giving a bunch of pointers. Hey, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. And you can see what Andy taught Neil years ago that Neil is now using in this trial. He's like closing the distance to the jury. He's talking to them. He says the defendant. He does not mention Jacob's name. All the pointers that Andy gave him, he's using right now. But it also shows Neil's argument that Jacob did it. It isn't very good. It just isn't. I mean, he's talking out, and then Joanna just goes out and says, isn't this every teenage boy? Isn't everyone do this? Hey, there's porn on his computer. Doesn't everyone have porn? I mean, Joanna is just so good at debunking his such like a tunnel vision thought process, and it's like Neil wanted this to happen to Andy because he didn't like him. That's what I'm kind of getting at. I'm like, dang, Neil's kind of like just like doesn't like Andy, so he's trying to, yeah, it's his kid. Screw him. Let's put him through his hell. Joanna's just punking him. But what really happened, and it wasn't allowed to happen because in the pre-trial, it was not mentioned, and they said this cannot happen, and Neil brought it up, the bastard he is, saying, mentioning Andy's father, who's in jail for murder, and he mentioned that to the whole jury, to the audience, to everyone. Everyone starts losing their mind, and they almost had a mistrial, and Neil threw that in because he knew he was losing. And now, and the judge is like, hey, audience, jury, you have to forget that. Like, that is not mentioned. I'm like, how do you forget that? That's just sitting in your head now. Murder gene. That's what's going through people's heads now. Neil had to cheat to win, but where Neil really came out on top, it's Derek Yu's story. Derek... I don't know what happened to him and Jacob. Obviously, they said that there's jealousy involved about Sarah, and Derek had this story that Jacob wrote about Ben's death, and oh my God, is it graphic? It seems like he did it, and it gets to the point of everyone thinks he did it. Me and my girlfriend went, no one can write that without seeing like he did it, man. I mean, it was gross, and felt so real. You felt like you have to experience it to like write it down. And Andy got to the point where they're in the car, he turned around and looked at Jacob and said, did you do it? Like, did you murder Ben? I need to know. Like, dude, what the F, dude? And Jacob starts crying, kind of like appalled that his dad asked that, but he's just crying. He's like, no, I didn't. And I don't know if I believe him. But how the episode ended with Leonard Patz writing a letter to Ben Rifkin's parents saying, I killed Ben, I'm so sorry. That's kind of where I'm going right now, that Leonard Patz did it, and I've wanted to believe it was him, and now I have a pretty good reason to believe it's him. And I'm guessing he wrote the letter because Leonard Patz will commit suicide. That's just a speculation. Obviously, I think lots of people have that speculation, but Derek Yu really gave Neil the edge in this episode. Like, hey man, we're gonna do this. So Andy and all of them trying to figure this out. But if Leonard Patz's note comes to light, what's going to happen with that is Andy have something to do with that? Is that why he's getting interviewed? Episode 8 has lots of questions to answer, and if it's only 45 minutes, they're going to have to cram it in, and I'm going to have to know. I need to know. I need answers. Episode 7 is so dang good, and of course, I do not mention everything that happens because I cannot do that. So if there's anything I forgot that you thought was pretty significant, make sure to comment that down below. How did you guys like episode 7? I thought it was freaking perfect. Do me a favor, guys, and go see a movie, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!